Test, test. Just wanted to make sure it is on. Let's see if the feed is on. All right. I just had to make sure. I messed around, did a couple things here, so I just want to see if they're actually going to come through. But I decided to do a little bit of a stream because I had that on my mind, and I really wanted to kind of get this one out the way before I get into my next couple streams, because what I'm seeing is just repetitive behavior, and some of us seem to be strategized, for what lies ahead, but some of us seem to be just scattered. Much love and respect to Tiffany Peters and her family and the Dollinger family. I unfortunately will not be able to be at the rally tonight. My grandson's got a t-ball game. I'm actually going to check in, and after his game is over, I may ride out if they're still going. But I know I won't be able to be there at the beginning of it. And I had expressed that to her and left a post about it. Unfortunately, it's just the way these games got scheduled, and the rainouts happened, and now they're doing all the makeups, and the makeup happened to have fell on tonight's day. So I got to see my grandson play. Anytime my grandkids are involved in something, I got to be there. So I appreciate anybody that's going to check this out. I'm hearing about all these YouTube content creators getting their pages taken down. And I just watched a video. I guess there's a lot of misinformation going on regarding pretty much anything nowadays. I don't find myself in that. I don't think I give off misinformation. I may give off something that I see as correct and then find out that it's not. And I have no problem with, making those adjustments, but it looks like for every small reason, they are taking content creators' pages down. And I've noticed that it's been more Black content creators. Now, I think the purposes of that are because Black people are starting to galvanize online and starting to see that, there's some shit in the game. But this is also why we need our own platforms. This is why we need our own spaces to be able to speak. We were speaking on HAPS yesterday or 2 days ago, and I just kept putting out, that it wasn't misinformation, that this wasn't medical advice. We weren't trying to tell people to do or not to do certain things, because I think that because they are listening, that needs to be spoken. I put out the disclaimer in the beginning, even though when I play stuff that's royalty free, I put out the disclaimer because that's what the people who know more than me told me what to do, and that's what I do. So I haven't had any situations where my streams have been taken down. I've been cut off a few times, got cut off earlier, and I don't know what the trigger words are. I really don't, and don't even care. I just try to get better each time and make sure that my content is what it is. Shout out to my boy Lydell for the old school t-shirt. Can you see that? Can you see that old school with the, and I got that. It's actually a seer agape, and that stands for the chosen one, unconditional love. So, I like to say, the chosen one love. But yeah, shout out to him and his t-shirt and his apparel company. He's got some good stuff going. He knew I liked the old school stuff. I liked the cassette tape, the cursive, I liked all that. So I had to get one. But shout out to him and his company, and hopefully, they can make waves out here in the summer and the fall, and have everybody wearing the Asir Agape line. Out here, we don't need to be in shopping malls. We don't need to be in outlet malls. We got people out here with apparel we can wear every day. Now, I know it's not always what your style might particularly be, but find something. There are literally people out here making clothes with their names on them, but if y'all don't see them in the malls and y'all don't see them, online, y'all don't go get the stuff. So I get it. There's and much love and respect to Eric, but there are more clothing stores than Puffer Reds in Washtenaw County. Y'all need to understand that there are more clothing stores out there than Puffer Reds, but I appreciate everybody. So I'm not sure exactly what that's about there. Hold on a second. So yeah, nobody's in this this chat room here on YouTube. I'm not sure exactly where I'm showing comments. I just don't know where they're coming from. So it's kind of fucking me up. But if I can't see them, then I can't respond to them. So it is what it is. I see this right here, but I don't know exactly where it's at. So it is what it is. Hold on one second. I didn't return a text I was supposed to return before I got on here. And now I want to talk about, just so I don't get taken down for misinformation, the title of the stream is, being nice to white people doesn't always work. I don't even know if I put the always in there. I think I just said doesn't work. And the reason I'm saying that is things that are happening to us now, I believe it's because we are not strategists, we are not galvanized, and we are not strategic as a whole. Individually, it's not going to work. I think we've proven that on many levels. I don't believe that we can, get together individually, do things individually, and succeed. It's so unfortunate that people like Nina Turner, couldn't beat the establishment. I think she ran on the right things. I think she's for the right people. And it just shows where the establishment sees us. To lose to someone like Shontel Brown, who is definitely for the establishment, that's an issue. And we're going to keep finding that unless we start changing things on our local end. I understand she was running for a state senator. So I get that. but what about the mayor? What about the city council? What about the state representative, the county commissioners? People like that lead to our state senators. And when the state senator doesn't have your back and they're the ones that are going to Washington with shit, then you're fucked up in the game. So my biggest thing right now is not to say, we shouldn't be in politics. We definitely need to be in politics. But the way we need to be in politics is we need to be in politics on the local end. So that's really where I am right now. I'm trying to make sure people, keep their head in the game. Yeah, we were just disillusioned with Barack Obama, and we can get past that. We get caught up with people just based on the way we look, the way we sound, but not what they do. And that's a problem. That's been a problem for a long, long time. So what I'm finding now is just being nice is not enough. Being nice, we have to be strategic. We have to plan. We've got to do different things out here that more people, will understand, I think, thoroughly. Because just being nice isn't it. Just being nice, just being the person that is just the good person, being the bigger person is not always the best thing. Some people want to be I want to be the bigger person in this. And what does that get you? That gets you nowhere generally. So, that's a problem. I'm looking for, people to really get their political mind set, get their personal spirit set. We're out here doing just the wrong shit. Some of the things that I see online now, and I'm not trying to shit on anybody's extracurricular activities, because people can shit on mine. I mean, I don't have many, but people can shit on my extracurricular activities. But I literally was looking for a video that I needed to put up, and I'm going to put it up in a second. And I came across some fucking video of this lady. Now, everybody knows about the mechanical bull. The mechanical bull that was in saloons and all types of stuff, for years. That's a big attraction. I think it's still a big attraction, in some levels, but the mechanical bull was a huge thing back in the day. Well, it showed a woman riding a mechanical penis. A mechanical penis. Appreciate you, Free. Appreciate you on that. Thanks for the love. We're going to shoot these in here just to say that we did. All right. And I appreciate the other people that haven't said anything, but they're here. Appreciate y'all too. She was riding a mechanical penis. And I don't know what she got out of it personally. It could have been a bachelorette party. It could have been girls' night out. It could have been any of that, and I'm not discounting any of that. And it's not that I don't want to see women have fun. But why is it whenever they show shit like that, they always show a black woman doing it? I mean, we're only 14% of the population, but we get shot in on every detrimental fucking thing that happens out here. We're the poster child for every single negative thing, as if nobody else, no other faction of people. I'm not just going to jump to the white people. I'm not even going to say nothing about the people all in between, because, it's black over here and it's white over there and it's people of color in the middle. I don't know who the fuck does this great research that they do, where they can pick up 14% of the population and find every bad thing that fucking happens, but they never can find anything for the other 86% of the population and shit that they do wrong. I just don't know who is this photographer, or who are these photographers that are able to pick out all the shit that black people do. I just want to know who they are, and if you know one, I mean, let me know who they are. So it is what it is. Y'all see me looking over my shoulders because my door is open. And there's something back there. There's a canister back there that literally is probably like the size of a human head. So when I look back there, it looks kind of like it's moving. So it's not, but just my peripherals, just crazy. So I want to play this video. Because I'm not going to play the whole thing. Most of us have seen the part that was really bad, but I want to play the beginning part of the video because a lot of people haven't seen this part of the video, and there's just all kind of wrongs here. And I'm going to talk to my cop friends. I'm going to talk to my people who were in law enforcement friends, and I'm going to ask them, because I'm going to send the video out, and then I'll go to my grandson's t-ball game, and then hopefully I'll have some responses back from them answering why the fuck this had to happen the way it had to happen, because that's pretty much the only way I can ask this question. So let me get this up here. Give me 1 second. I'm going to pause some music because I want y'all to hear everything that's going on in this video. And hopefully it's all turned up and everything. Is it all turned up? Yeah, it's all turned up. Okay. Give me 1 second here. Yeah, that's it. Excuse me. Okay. So we are at the beginning here. Let's do it this way.
You okay? What are you crying for? Well, here, come talk to me. What's wrong? How come you're crying? And you're barefoot. Where do you live at? What's your address? 55. I'm not rambling and rusty with that female. What's your address? Just to talk to you, make sure you're okay. Okay, here, hang on. Just slow down. Tell me, okay? Slow down.
Why is he touching her? Why is he touching her?
You gotta stay right here, okay?
Why did he have to touch her?
You can't go walking off, okay?
Now he's squeezing her.
Why are you hurting me? I can't call my mom.
How old are you?
I'm 18.
You're 18. Where's your mom live?
Can I call her? I don't want you to hurt
You
me.
can't walk off. I'm not gonna hurt you, okay? But you can't.
She asked to call her mother.
You can't walk off like that, okay?
I don't want you to hurt me.
I'm not gonna hurt you, okay?
Okay,
I'm here
can I
to
get
make
in the
sure you're okay. You can get in the grass. It's fine. So we got a call that you're jumping out in front of cars. So I can't let you go walking off on me
Okay,
now,
can I
okay?
go home?
So where do you live? Okay, so you can't go anywhere, okay? You gotta
Why is she being detained?
okay?
Let me call my sister. I don't want you to hurt me.
I'm not gonna hurt you,
He has yet to let her go, but she hasn't committed a crime.
okay? Stop pulling away.
I don't want you to hurt me.
Why hasn't he called for backup? Why hasn't he called for a female officer to come to the
Stop
scene?
pulling away, okay?
Mom, you're hurting me already.
Away, all right?
You're hurting me already. You're hurting me. Stop. Stop.
Now, if his body cam is bumping her breast, that means he is effectively touching her breast.
Just sit down. Sit down, okay? Sit down, okay? Sit down, okay?
See,
I don't.
that's assault.
I gotta.
Hasn't committed a crime.
Sit down, okay?
Hasn't committed a crime. Now his body cam got thrown off, so it's on the ground while he assaults her with no proof of what's happening right now. We have no idea what's happening right now because the body cam is in the grass. We have no idea what's going on right now. And he knows the body cam's in the grass. So he can do anything he wants right now. Body cam's taking pictures, I guess, in the grass. She's telling me she can't breathe. He hasn't called for backup yet. He hasn't called for any backup. He hasn't called for a female officer to get to the scene. Mental health people, nothing. And she never resisted and never tried to run or anything.
I can't breathe. Please, sir, get off of me. No, no, send whoever else. I can't breathe.
So I can stop this.
Where's my God?
I can stop that. Okay, so that's the one thing. I mean, and obviously that's bad enough. I thought I had the other one. Maybe I didn't. Damn it. Yeah, I didn't. There's one that there's another image. I thought I had uploaded that one too, where he's literally laying on top of her, full body on top of her body, on top of her. And when he had said teenager before, I thought she was actually under 18. I guess she is 18 years old, but still, to me, she's a baby. This is a grown individual. From what her mother said, she got into some type of argument at home with one of her cousins, and she was pissed off and she walked away, which she has a right to do. She's 18 years old. She can go anywhere she wants. She wasn't a child. She is 18 years old. But my thing is, why did the police officer even bother her? I mean, you ain't never seen people just being emotional and walking down the street and just kind of going through it, and they're not bothering anybody. And his job is not to fucking accost people just because they're crying walking down the street. That's not his job. His job is to solve a fucking crime. His job is to bring law and order to a space. And that right there was not that. She wasn't breaking any laws, so he didn't have to bring law and order to that space. So that was a problem. That was the first problem that I had with why because I didn't see that at first. The first thing that I saw, he was already on top of her. The first video I saw, he was already on top of her, and he was assaulting her then, and then they later assaulted her mother. To see the beginning of how this actually started, and then know where she ended up, this is why they don't want to get rid of qualified immunity. Because this is who it protects. It protects, I mean, he can say he feared for his life, and that's why he had to take her down in the fashion that he had to take her down, when he was in no way in any danger with that young lady walking across the street or walking down the street or whatever it was. Then he lied and said he got a call and saying that she was jumping out in front of cars like she was on a suicide mission and shit. That was a flat out lie. And they need to find out during that hour who called in, and those records, and I'm so far away from this type of shit, but those phone records should be available to say, hey, we got several calls of you running out in front of cars and shit. I mean, if he said that, they should have documentation of that. Because I don't believe she was running out in front of anybody. She might have been crossing the street, but who calls the police and say, hey, there's somebody crossing the street? It was bullshit. And I didn't say anything at first because I didn't even know that. But that's because I didn't hear that. Only thing I saw was him laying on top of her. But that's the lie he's going to tell. Hey, we got a call that's, you were jumping out in front of cars, when she had just basically walked out of a house. And whatever he was doing, patrolling, if that's what he was doing, patrolling, what'd that have to do with his patrolling? He's never seen anybody walking down the street that might have been in an emotional situation, could have been on the phone talking to their boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, whatever, and just left them alone. That day he had to accost her. That makes absolutely no sense. That makes absolutely no sense. That's why I say being nice to white people does not work. It does not work. And I'm not here to say be mean to anybody, but I'm just saying, just because you're nice to them, that doesn't work. The only thing that's actually going to work is a tearing down and a rebuilding of the system, obviously. And, that's where we need to start. And that's where we need to end. Passing this bill, passing that bill, it does not work. Even with qualified immunity dropping off and them adding some legislation to say, hey, yeah, you fuck up, we can come after you personally. I think that'll change some things, but you're still going to have your wild ones out there. I mean, George Floyd meant nothing. 9 minutes and 29 seconds on a man's neck meant nothing because they still doing this shit. They still putting their knees to people's necks. It means nothing to them. And I'm an eye for an eye motherfucker. I really am an eye for eye motherfucker. I believe that if that's the way you kill somebody, then you know what? That's the way you should be killed. That's the way you should be killed. No doubt. No doubt. And see, the crazy thing is, how did we get that first video? I mean, maybe because I think that was a cell phone video, but now this is the actual police cam video. And which we should get that every day. We should get the releasing of police camera video on YouTube every day. Every police department should have a YouTube channel, and they should be uploading all of their officers' body cam videos every single day. That right there, that lets me know, you're trying to be accountable. You're showing us your actions. When you had engagement with people, we don't need to see y'all motherfuckers eating donuts in the car. We don't need to see you when you're standing outside the car doing nothing. Well, you know what? We don't even need to see you when you go up in the hood and try to act like, you're cool with the kids and hooping with the kids and doing the dances that y'all do with the kids. We don't need to see that shit either. When you're engaging with someone who you're about to assault, we need that shit to be on, and we need it to be up on the YouTube channel at the end of your shift. The court of public opinion should matter where police are concerned. Now, everybody's opinion is not going to be logical, so therefore everybody's opinion does not need to be heard. You're just going to have some crazy-ass people that are always going to chime in on that shit, but the real people, they need to see how police are actually doing things out here. I mean, because you're 1,000% right, Royalty. They routinely show us videos like this. I mean, to really marginalize us, to traumatize us, to make us think twice. Shit, just about going outside. Just about going outside. This makes people not want to go outdoors. This is an 18-year-old girl just crossing the street. She's walking down the street, had a little whatever with her cousins, and she'd have went back home eventually. Not traumatized. She'd have been okay. She got over it. She'd have called a couple people, okay, girl, just go on back home. You'll be good. But instead, she had to encounter this motherfucker. And seeing that first video or seeing the second video first versus seeing this from the beginning, I absolutely want to know, why the fuck did this even have to happen? Hey, are you okay? Yes, I am. Okay, keep it moving. Keep rolling. Why the fuck did you have to get out of your car? Why did you have to put your hands on her? Why did you have to twist her arm up? Why was your body cam bumping her breast? Why were you that close to her breast? There's a lot of shit I can pick away from this video. And that's just in the first 3 minutes of it. The rest of the shit was uncalled for too. Personally, I think there's some sexual fucking deviance there too. What police officer wants to lay on top of a woman like that? A male police officer wants to lay on top of a woman police or a woman person like that. Just lay there. I mean, just laying full body on her. Full body. He wasn't like straddling her legs, like making sure he wasn't near any of her private parts. He was laying on top of her like he was trying to conquer her. And nobody's saying shit about that. You can see she's a developed 18-year-old. She had breasts. She had body. For an 18-year-old, he got some thrills off that shit. Where's her daddy at? Where's her uncles? Where's her grandfather? Somebody needs to talk to him at the end of his shift. When he's on his way home, walking in his Chevy Impala, somebody needs to talk to him. And if he's forced to stand his ground, okay. That was crazy to me that this girl was literally just walking down the street. Had no idea, because I always want to know, how did it start? How did all that shit start? How did it get to that point? How did it get to the point of her mother being arrested? This is how it started, with a situation that he didn't even have to be a part of. He didn't have to be a part of it. Yet he overstepped. What is that? That's abuse of power and excessive force all over this. And I'm shooting for sexual assault too, because I don't believe his body camera needed to touch her breast. That means his chest was touching her chest. Why is your chest touching her chest? If you're trying to apprehend her, why are you going chest to chest with her? And everything had to happen with his hands on her. He never talked to her except when he was in the car and physically couldn't get to her without his hands on her. Once he got his hands on her, he never let her go. And this is a woman that's committed no crime. She's not a suspect in anything. He just saw her walking down the street and she was crying. Yeah. And then he used the lie. You were jumping out in front of traffic. We got some calls. I want to see the call records to that shit. I want to see the call records to that. The people in Texas, y'all need to be asking, where the call records to the people that called in saying this woman looked like she was about to kill herself, trying to kill herself, jumping out in front of traffic? Because I don't believe there is one. I don't believe there is one. And if somebody said, somebody's jaywalking or somebody, just walked out in front of traffic or something like that, okay, you might have had a reason to just he got a call, and the way he showed up was all leisurely like. It was all leisurely. How do you know it was her? She was actually walking on the sidewalk when you saw her. How you know it was her? She the only person walking in that city? How do you know it was her? I mean, you had to know that was a lie. He didn't pull up on her and T-bone her. He literally was across the street. And he's just rolling around abusing people by himself. I didn't see he had a partner. Looked like he was by himself. And I think some other people showed up on the scene. This is what they do to us when we just, we just expecting them to be good to us if we nice to them. This is what happens. Being nice don't work. You got to be strategic. You got to be strategic in getting respect. Just being nice don't work. Come on, man. I started a stream earlier, so crazy. I don't know what's happening with this Haps thing. And I don't think Haps has trigger word buttons or trigger word things where it can cut your stream off, but I keep getting cut off when I start talking about shit that probably a lot of people don't like. I get it, but I'm not speaking against anybody. But I think that the title was Doing As You're Told, We have so many people out here who just do as they're told. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with I don't like using the word towing the line, because that's not what the type of do as you're told that I'm talking about. No doubt. No doubt. We have absolutely no protection in this union. We have no protection. Politically, through law enforcement, we absolutely have no protection. And we're actually targets with law enforcement, and politically we're targets during election years when they need our votes. And unfortunately, the people that are in place to speak for us, they don't speak for us. They'll speak for all melanated people, but they won't just speak for us. They won't speak from where they came from. I don't have anything for people like the Al Sharptons of the world. I don't have anything. I don't have anything for people like Reverend Barbers and all them people. I don't have anything for anybody like that. They stand up for every faction of people, but they don't stand up for us first. And that's how they got their bread. Al Sharpton got a lot of fucking nerves doing what he does now. He built his empire, or whatever it is. I don't know if it's an actual empire. I know he's still an income-based earner himself after all these years, after shedding several hundreds of pounds and getting finally to the position because he loves where he's at now. Al's always wanted to be here. He's always wanted to be here. And when he turns around, there's a camera, there's a mic. He's always wanted to be here. He put in work in the streets. I get it. Back in the day, I get it. He put in work. But now, just when the camera comes on, when the mic is hot, that's when you see Al. Where else are you seeing Al? He's eulogizing everybody that's getting killed now. You know, he done partnered up with Ben Crump. Ben's tearing him off. You know, he gets tore off from MSNBC. And people didn't understand. That's why he didn't step out and say shit about Byron Allen and Comcast. He didn't do that. He couldn't do that. He would have been going against his employer. Al can't go against his employer. He ain't gonna fuck up his bag for the blacks. You better understand that at this point. Al Sharpton is not going to fuck up his bag for the blacks. What up, Brother Carmichael? Don't know if you saw me earlier with it, the Sir Agape t-shirt. You know, we with it. We with it with the old school. Appreciate you, Brother Royalty. It's all I know, man. It's all I know. Oh, here you go. Here you go. The black church. In our little sector, we have a place, you know, it's called the South Side, you know, it's Ypsilanti, and it's the South Side. And I guess there's like 27 churches in this area just called the South Side, not the whole city, just the South Side. 27 churches. And I've always wondered, like, who's doing all this praying on the South Side? 27 churches? The black church has fucked up the black collective so much. I won't just say church, because I believe there's actually some churches, even some black churches, that are doing some things. But the black church as a whole, disabled. And one thing that I learned, and I'm still doing a lot of questioning to it to make sure that it's all factual, but from what I hear, it's just factual. When black churches are nonprofits, they can't speak on the political end. It's something with the 501c3 that you can't speak on politics. And that's what most black churches have, is a 501c3. They're a nonprofit. And they can't speak on politics. But we're not afraid to shed blood when it's against one of our own. If we showed the same fervor to a white supremacist that we show to our own, it'd be different. See, you go steal a motherfucker's shoes, you go steal his Air Jordans and shoot him. But I can show you a motherfucker who owns 10 Foot Locker franchises, and you can get all the shoes you want as ransom if you hold him for a couple hours. And you probably won't have to kill him. He'll let them shoes go in a heartbeat. But instead, you go shoot another black man over a pair of gym shoes that you don't even know whose size they are. But if you really wanted some shoes that bad, why don't you go find the franchisee to about 10, 15 Foot Lockers and say, look, you better let them people know that I'm coming in the store and I want every shoe they got. Why don't you do that? If you're going to be the man with the gun, be the man with a gun strategically. And I'm not telling anybody to go out here and commit a fucking crime, but if you're going to commit a crime, at least make it fucking worth it. Because now you just going to jail for the rest of your life. And guess what? You won't even be wearing those fucking shoes that you just killed him over in jail. Stupid ass. We on tomorrow talking that mental health. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. See, when they became tax exempt, it was like, what we got to do for this? Just got to stay even. Just got to stay even with it. Can't be on either side. And that was probably spoken to them and broken down to them over the years. Like, yeah, we don't need you being out here being Republican or Democrat. Nah, we don't need you out here doing that. It created a whole lot of fucking independents, but they didn't even know they were independent. Most of their factions are Democrat. So when the elections come up, you notice how most preachers will suppress talking about politics around election time. They will suppress that. The GOAT. What's going on? In case y'all didn't know, Michael Jordan's been joining the streams lately and shit. And it must have clicked his algorithm when I said somebody getting shot over some Jordans. Yeah, motherfucker, people getting shot over your shoes. He said, shut up and dribble. I'm sure they don't mind taking that Republican and Democrat money, though. Absolutely not. They'll let the politicians come in, sit in the pews, clap off beat, sing off key, drop that tithe in there, and come up and get behind the podium and speak them lies to their faction, their parishioners, their followers, their servants. They'll let them do that. They'll absolutely let them do that. Won't accomplish shit except money in they coffers. Absolutely. Hey, look, I don't have a problem with a motherfucker buying Jordans. What I got a problem with is a motherfucker shooting somebody over a pair of gym shoes, but he man enough to do that, but he ain't man enough to go find that Foot Locker owner of 10 franchises and go put a gun in his face and say, give me all the gym shoes. But you'll go right up the street and rob somebody of their gym shoes. You know. Republicans absolutely buy Jordans too. Absolutely. And shoot black people with Jordans on too. What? Got into an argument with TD Jakes on Twitter over the church's lack of involvement on issues in the community. His response was, the world is suffering, not just the black community. Wow. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. Touchdown Jake said that shit. Come on, man. Touchdown Jakes. God damn, TD. The world is suffering, not just black. I knew you know what? Look, man. I knew when he did all his crossing over and shit and wanted to do the movies and all that shit. I knew it was over for us with TD Jakes. Not that we really ever had him. I think TD Jakes, once he got to Texas and got the big Potter's house and all that shit, I think he was good. I love seeing that little before and after picture when him and his wife was on that struggle mode and then they got the bag. I love seeing that shit. That's what them ties will do for you, baby. That's what them ties will do for you. That's what taking care of the world will do for you. Not the black community, the world. You got that right, Frida. The Republicans buying more Jordans. Hell, they got more money. Yeah, he's something else with his. The world is suffering. Motherfucker, the world didn't give you the Potter's house. Poor black people gave you the Potter's house, dog. See, that's what, once they get elevated, man, it's no telling where motherfuckers gonna go. It's no telling where motherfuckers gonna go once they get elevated. Jake's, any of them, Creflo Dollar, any of them. Once they get that bag, whatever. We got local motherfuckers out here doing the same shit, fleecing the flocks. They put on the shows for you, you drop that money in there, and what do you got? Nothing. You had a good time. You had a good time. You went to a good show. Damn. This is very true. Fakes has never been known. You know, that's crazy as shit. From Charleston, West Virginia to Dallas, Texas. That's where he's from. Ain't there a whole bunch of poor black people in Charleston, West Virginia? Charleston, West Virginia has a lot of poor black people, if I'm not mistaken. And slave trade and all that was all up through there. TD. Touchdown, Jakes. No, we don't. And that's really what this is about. We don't hold any of these preachers accountable, just like we don't hold politicians accountable, just like we don't hold police accountable. Jeez. And I never hear him talk about his humble beginnings. He just acts as if, like, I've been here all this time. Maybe he does talk about it. I don't listen to every TD Jakes sermon. Hell, I don't even listen to any of them, to be honest with you. But I'll never hear him talking about that shit. It's like once they make it, they don't talk about that struggle mode. There's like, we here now. We here now. We ain't talking about none of that shit. Nigga here now. Like, what the fuck? Being nice. I'm telling you, being nice is not just, it's not what gets us there. That's why I loved the fervor of Nina Turner. I love the fervor of Tamara Johnson Shealy. You know, I'd love to see some more black politicians out there. I especially love to see some brothers out here that are just have that unapologetic spirit, not just during election time. I'm talking about during every day. I want to see you walking it. We've got a few out here who are walking it, who are making their way into local politics, who are running for state elections as well. We need that though. And they know it's just not going to take no being nice. You know, I'm a little worried about our brother Gary Chambers. I'm a little worried about him. You know, he came out, he was busting open them city council meetings and busting open them school board meetings and all kinds of shit. And he seemed like he was with the shits. Somebody gave him a little bread for his campaign, and he started talking that. He started talking, whoa, Nina Turner. You ain't familiar with Nina Turner? Boy, you better get familiar with Nina Turner. Nina Turner is thorough as a motherfucker. If you want a synopsis of Nina Turner, look up TBTV. That's Tim Black. He was really riding with her during her campaign leading up to this primary. Gary Chambers, he's from down south. He's a brother. He was the brother in Texas, I believe, Texas or Louisiana or something. He was the one that was busting open them the city council meetings and school board meetings and shit, and just speaking the facts, you know, speaking the real truth. Now he's running for an election, and he done gone a little all lives matter with it a couple times, I've noticed, and I'm just like, well, damn. You know, you was with it and you was talking about us for a minute. Now you on your all lives matter bag because he's trying to get elected. Nina Turner is not in Congress. Hold on one sec. What up, bro? I'm on my live. I'm gonna hit you right back. But she was running for senator. She's out of Cleveland, and she lost yesterday in the primary to Chantel Brown. TBTV. Is that on YouTube? Yep. Connect them. Connect the TV and the TV. You know, here I'm shouting out another motherfucking platform and shit. I know that motherfucker probably wouldn't shout out my ass, but I'm shouting out another platform just to get this person to the information. See, that's the way I think we need to be doing this as Black content creators, you know, not always trying to figure out ways to slam and slight each other and shit. I'm going to call you a bum. I'm going to call you a bum. You know, Tim's not a bum. You know, I don't agree with all the shit he says, but he's not a bum, but he's at least worth. I'm trying to get somebody to the information quick. So instead of him going to look up a whole bunch of Nina Turner interviews, he can go to TV and check out all the stuff that Tim did leading up to the yesterday's primary. And he'll get a good insight as to she's real as a motherfucker. Nina Turner is real. She'll be back. She'll be back. Yeah. So it was Gary Chambers. I just want to get all them up so I know I hit them. Yeah, they got to him. I don't know exactly how they got to him. Oh, you know, was another thing. Did you see when when Sean King was in somewhere and it looked like somebody was walking up on him, and then there was a big brother who protected him? That was Gary Chambers. The big brother who was protecting was Gary Chambers. A lot of people thought that was Sean King's security, but no, that's Gary Chambers. He running for political office and shit, and he out playing motherfucking Simone Sanders and shit. He out jumping in front of people for other people and shit. You better hope somebody jump in front of your ass if somebody does something to you. Always, bro. I'm always gonna get information up if I can, you know. And what city and state is she in? Nina's in Cleveland. Brother Chambers is, I believe, in Texas somewhere. Texas or Louisiana, but I believe it's Texas. And he's running for Congress now, I think. Most Black politicians start out with the smoke until they realize the people of color crowd donates more to your campaign in comparison to the grassroots. Money matters. Absolutely. They don't see the dollar. They don't value that dollar coming to them in dribs and drabs, which I can understand and to a certain extent, versus, you know, corporate checks, maybe. You know, I get it. But what they also got to understand, too, Black people don't have it to give as much as others. Now, we spend on some dumb shit. I do, you know, so I'm not going to say we don't have any money, because I'm past it. It's not that we don't have any money. We don't have the money we should have. And by not having the money that we should have, that causes us problems when it's time to get into the wheel, you know, politically and whatnot. I thought she jumped into it this during this time, Sister Shanna. I was listening to her on Tim Black, and I could have swore that she threw her hat in the ring, but I don't think it ever became a part of her campaign. Not that it really would have helped. I think she was 7-8 points down, so I don't think that would have closed her gap with that, because the people that go for Chantel Bowman, they down on reparations too. So I don't think that would have closed her gap at all. And yeah, definitely, I definitely knew she was a Bernie crat. You know, she was a Bernster. But I thought that she was with us enough to, once she understands the logistics of it, I got to go back and watch some videos, because those are actually pretty interesting videos with him and her, and then his dialogue with her and her stuff. I thought that she came across, because I know she stood right in the middle of that shit and didn't jump over with us on it, but I thought she came across because maybe she was trying to get some. Sean King is yeah, Nina lost yesterday. Yeah, she lost. You're right, brother. She can be. So this is her second time around doing it. Okay. Well, what'd she do that for? She followed the same formula as a motherfucker who's lost every time. I mean, Bernie hasn't won shit except his seat that he sits in. Bernie hasn't won shit. Why would she follow that formula? Well, like I said, she talked strong when she was talking with Tim, and maybe because Tim's platform is pro-black, it's not pro people of color. So maybe she talked strong on Tim's platform. I didn't watch her during anybody else's shit during this time because, truthfully, I didn't see a lot of people really up in Nina Turner in Ohio. It seemed like this whole Chantel Brown thing, or whatever her name was, nobody was giving her a chance, and she did lose by 7 or 8 points, which isn't bad. But you know, I didn't think people really jumped on bandwagon with her during that time. You know, black folks to vote for you. And yeah, that's why her ass sitting on the sidelines now. See, I didn't know. I didn't know about the rest of her platform. I just kept hearing her say, black people need this, black people. So I figured she, you know, had maybe become a reparationist. Obviously not. So she still rode with Bernie's plan and rolled that right into another L. She don't need another chance. I mean, you know, I don't know. I mean, why would you ride with Bernie's plan? Bernie's plan was shit. His plan sucked. So why would you ride with Bernie's plan? Pardon me, brother. I am very familiar. Shannon's not gonna give you wrong information. He said, pardon me, brother Shannon. I am very familiar with Shannon Kim. I will not be checking on you. You've been Shannon checked. And dude, I've never gotten information bad from Shannon. I don't know where she gets all her information from. Shannon, I think Shannon's probably got like 50 TVs and shit. She got like 50 flat screens, and she gets all the information. She gets it to us faster than we can get it. So, you know, Bernie was a front runner until you question him about specific candles of black folks. Or about failed this time. She wasn't in Congress from Bernie last one. Nope. I think you meant reparations, not repetitions. I'm gonna pull that. What would we do if you're? I'm pretty sure this is what you're saying. What would we do with reparations with no financial literacy? Well, that's part of it. That's definitely part of it. You know, we do need financial literacy as a whole, but we do have enough financial professionals to be able to do that. Hell, we can school ourselves, give us our money, let us do it ourselves. You know, don't tell us what we're owed. Don't tell us this is how much you're going to give us, because that's not up to you. You know, we didn't tell you how much to take when you took from us. Yes, sir. Who?
I think his name's
Unk.
I met him with you the other day at Brooklyn like a week ago.
Okay. I don't know. I don't know what kind of car he drives. Yeah, nobody's unless they tell us they're coming here, nobody just shows up. Yeah, we would have known he was coming down. We would have known he was coming down here, though. Okay. Yeah. All right, buddy. You have to put it on your platform. Nina Turner's a pastor, too? Oh, jeez. Damn, Shannon. Shannon done dug up every reason for black folks not to vote for her. She's a pastor. She wasn't for reparations. Okay. Nina, I can kind of see why you lost now. Shit. I see why you lost. And when everybody thinks of reparations, and we're far past this in the way we think, you know, I've kicked it with all y'all on a personal level, you know, it's not just a check, Brother Carmichael. It's not just a check that we're talking about. We're talking about legislation and policy to even up this plane service. We can't just even up the plane service with money. Black people get money all the time and just blow it. But there's got to be different things that we can be able to do with our money. We need certain accesses. You can have a bunch of money, but if you don't have access to shit, you're going to end up spending ignorantly and you'll end up wasting a lot of resources. Hell, the fact is we can have the bag and everybody's credit is tight and we can get businesses and do things like that. That bag never moves, because how many people do you know that have money that go out and just spend money on their business? No, they use their credit. They use their business credit. See, there's certain things when people talk about reparations, that's mine. That's what you owe me. That's what you owe my people. That's not my job to go back and put that in the atmosphere. That's for me to do what I need to with it. Now let's even up all these fucking unevens. And that ain't got nothing to do with this bag you gave me. See, a lot of people get caught up in just that check. It ain't about a fucking check. It's about all the policy and legislation that needs to be moved around so this system is right. And when we do want to put our money into the system, we can make it work for us. Our money don't work for us in this system, because this system wasn't built for us to have money. It wasn't built for us to put money into the system to kick back. So our money doesn't work in this system. A pastor. Good Lord. Yeah, she's never going to get in there. They already don't like Nina for a lot of reasons. I mean, let's just be honest. She's strong. She's strong with her words. They don't like the fact that she's dark and she talks the way she talks. I mean, look how tough Kamala talks to people and nobody ever says anything about it. But when Nina Turner talks like that, angry black woman all the time. She angry. She mad about something, this, that, and the other. You know. That's why they softened Stacey up. Stacey had fire. She had fire. But when, you know, they softened her up with them Bloomberg bucks and all that other stuff that went on, I think she's still genuinely for black people, but she rides with people of color too. And frankly, that's, I don't know. That's kind of where she's going to sit in politics, I think. I don't think she's ever going to ride for us unapologetically. Tell you, the most subsidized faction of people in this country are Native Americans, and they've gotten billions, hundreds of billions. Nobody's asking them what they do with their money. Nobody ever asked Holocaust survivors what they did with their money. Nobody asked concentrate camp people what they did with their money. They didn't even have studies on it. They didn't have studies on it. Nobody had to have a judicial hearing to pay other factions of people. But that's the first thing that comes up. What are we going to do with that money? Well, if we get it, what are we going to do with it? And when they got their monies, legislation popped for them too. That's why I said this is not just about a check. Don't just give me some money and then I can't use it anywhere. I don't need to just spend it in your stores. If I'm going to put it somewhere, I need to put it in this system, in this wheel, to make it work for me and mine. They know what happens if we actually have an even plane service. I mean, you got people checking their checking accounts to donate to politicians on the black side, but if we got our reparations, we can full-throated back politicians ourselves and get them in the office just like they do. Because then we'll have businesses. Then we'll have institutions. We'll have all types of stuff where we can pull money from those places. Right now, we're in that hat in hand stage, and it's unfortunate because it's 2021, and we was in a hat in the hand stage in 1921, and we was in a hat in the hand stage in 1821, 1721. We've been in a hat in hand stage. Period. And don't nobody say shit about them, royalty. Brother Otis, I stand corrected. If you've seen that Zoom call, I'm going to honor it. So there was a judicial hearing with Japanese people explaining what role the study played in the victory. Was that the recent video, Brother Otis? Because I think I seen that too. I think I just seen something. There was actually a march. They'd either follow it or led up to it. And I'm going to close out here soon because I got to get to my grandson's game. But I want to pick this one back up. Good discussion. I think hopefully I got everybody's comment in there. Because when I go back, I like to actually read the comments along with the dialogue. Yes, you are, Brother Otis, and I appreciate you, Elder. I appreciate you. At our current state, as a collective, I don't see us moving up the ranks if we don't get this together, and that's with or without, comprehensive reparations. We're still way too antiquated as a collective. Individually, I think we move about pretty decent. At decent percentages, but collectively we're not understanding that jobs are not going away because of the pandemic. Jobs are going away and not coming back because of robots and computers and different things like that. And if we're not on that side and understanding coding, computer programming, and anything that has to run those robots won't run humans. They'll just run humans out of the workforce. The ones who don't know. But I don't see us moving from the bottom if we don't galvanize and get politically set. And really, we need policy and legislation to get passed for us. And truthfully, I mean, reparations is the only thing that brings us closer to solvency. Because I'm not trying to close the racial wealth gap between us and white people. They're not making the most money out here anymore. They still have a hold of everything pretty much, but they losing that too. They losing that in numbers, huge numbers. They're not as fruitful now because they didn't stay the course. If you DM me on Twitter, I got you. I will, brother. I was actually waiting for a message from you on Twitter and I never got it. I don't know if I'm blocked. I don't know exactly. I'm going to go into my Twitter this evening and I'm going to DM you so you actually have the right account. And I'd love that video. I definitely understand what you're saying, but they have to care. They have to care. That's what's going to move everything. Having a check. Okay, so here's the thing. Getting a reparations check, say you get a reparations check, they give you $1 million. but nobody will cash it. Nobody will cash it. Well, they put out a thing, you know what? If you got one of those reparations check, you're a native Black American, you're a freedman, you're this, you're that, whatever. We're not honoring them at these banks, at these institutions. So we're going to do run to the Black-owned bank. They're backed by the FDIC too. So it's not about just getting the check. We've got to have policy and legislation passed simultaneously to them cutting those checks. See, you one of them laying in wait elders. You wait for somebody to make a mistake. And I appreciate when I make a mistake and you correct me, I have absolutely no problem with it. If I speak out of turn, let me know. Let me know. Come on, man. Anytime we gain any type of headway with anything, they change the rules to the game. Middle of the inning, middle of the quarter, middle of the half, middle of the, whatever. Doesn't matter. We're in this game with them and we're playing, and all of a sudden they don't like how things are going, so they just switch shit up. That's that, and we've learned how to play that way. We've learned how to play and be versatile that way. I got you. Stop messing with me, brother. Stop messing with me. Stop messing with me. I'll be up here getting people. I'll be up here getting people's pages taken down and stuff like them too. Don't stop my stream in the middle of the stream. Calling YouTube. Hey, can you believe what he just did? Cut his stream off in the middle of the stream. Come on, man. All right, I got to get out of here, man. I got to get to my grandson's game, and y'all be good. I'll get with you a little later. I got some more work I got to get done, but I had to take a quick break and test some things out, and hopefully this was clear. I don't know how that video came out. Hopefully you heard that audio. I want to go back and listen to that part too, because I did some different things, but I'll check y'all. We also need enforcers of those treatment policies. That mean, yeah. We need people. We need people to be a part of the system. And when they're in there, we need them not to turn coat on us. That's the thing. Once they get in there, just don't turn coat. But we got to support these brothers. We got to support these brothers. Just like y'all turn y'all back on Alfonso Ribeiro, we can't do that to politicians, man. We just can't do that. All right. Appreciate you, Free. Team Caleb, absolutely. I'm his #1 fan. I'll holler at y'all. One love. Yes, sir. Thank you.